The Rockets are 25 games into this NBA season, which to me means that the numbers and the stats that we look at regarding the team have become significant. In this video, I'm going to go over some interesting stats that you may not have known and see what they mean and how we could improve on them. Rockets fans, this is not a drill. The Chop Shop got some new heat in the merch store. Stop by the merch store right now and pick up an Alp Always t-shirt, or you could pick up the Alp Sauce t-shirts. These t-shirts are going to be going off the rack fairly quickly, so don't hesitate and go to the merch store right now and get yours today before the holiday starts. These are going to be great gifts for family and friends, and something that you can wear to rep your fandom for Alperen Sengun and the Houston Rockets. If you're in the store and you see something else that you may like, support the channel by copying other designs that we've created to show that the Chop Shop is the best place for quality content, quality merch, and quality basketball conversations. Thank you guys for your support. Stop by the merch store right now today and copy the new drops of the Alp Always t-shirts and the Alp Sauce t-shirt. So starting off with advanced stats, we're going to look at the team's net rating. The Rockets are currently rated at 109.7 on offense and 116.3 on defense for a minus 6.5 net rating, which is good for 27th in the NBA. Currently, the Rockets lead the NBA in free throw attempts. So we are, 26.1 free throw attempts per game. This is a league high in front of Detroit Pistons, LA Lakers, Mavericks, Portland, and New York. And obviously we know why, because we are a team that likes to drive the ball. So we like to get into the paint. This is definitely something that is noticeable in our game, especially for some of our best players like Jalen and Kevin Porter Jr. Right now, we are 5th in drives in the NBA at 1,304, behind, once again, teams like OKC, which they have no shooting, so all they have to do is drive. New York, which a lot of drive and kick, Utah, Detroit, then us. And I think that is definitely something that leads to the fouls, and us being one of the teams that leads the league in fouls. So driving the ball is, definitely something that we need to keep doing. Now, if I look at it based on the players, our number one driver this season is Kevin Porter Jr. With 388. He is on these drives, he's shooting 41.6%, and he has a 43 pass percentage. So that means he's passing it out 43% of the time. Now, the thing that is a bit, it's not terrible, but it could be better, is the assist percentage, 8.8, which is actually, as far if you look at it in context of the team, that ranks him at 4th on the team in assist percentage out of the drives. So Kevin Porter isn't exactly, when he drives, he's not always looking to pass the ball out. So, which we know this, a lot of us see this in the games where he gets into the paint and shoots over 3 or 4 people. The number one drive and kick player on the team is Kenyon Jr., and I think this meets the eye test. A lot of times his bag isn't big enough for him to drive, get to the rim, and do something with it. So if you guys see the games, he drives, gets in the air, and kicks it out to shooters. Number 2 is Eric Gordon with 10.5%. So when he drives, he's assisting 10.5% of the time. And number 3 is Jalen Green with 9.1%. And him and Kevin Porter have about the same amount of drives on the season. Jalen, once again, man, he's just building up this case that he needs to be that point guard experiment guy too, because everything that Kevin Porter can do as far as with the ball handling, relating to sharing the ball, passing the ball, reading the defense, it seems like Jalen is just a little bit better right now on that aspect. I think Kevin Porter definitely has a tighter handle and is just maybe a better he is definitely a better isolation scorer. But as it relates to like ball distribution, it's crazy that in just year 2, Jalen is pretty much already caught up to him and slightly surpassing him in a lot of these metrics. So one thing that you will see that a majority of Jalen's points comes from his drive. So this is the big part of his game. For these guys, it's a mixed bag. So, it doesn't really tell you like how they're playing. But one thing with all these guys, that you want to see from your guys is that pass percentage be high. Meaning when you do drive that you typically pass it out. And some of these guys like Chris Paul's pass percentage is 57.8%, when he's on driving the ball, compared to some of our guys, when you look at their pass percentage, it doesn't really translate to that. The highest on our team we have is 57% with Dacian Nix. Obviously, we know he's not doing anything with the ball when he gets to the rim, so that's not anything. KJ, his pass percentage on drives is 45%. Tari's is 40. Eric Gordon is 34. Jalen is 31, which is kind of terrible. I'm not gonna lie. That is not good. So we've seen it where he tries to get to the rim and he gets stuck. And he just tries to like throw his body into a crowd of people. So lately, I think he's been improving on that, and that's definitely something I want to look for more. So the Rockets isolation. So currently we are number 6th in isolation in the NBA, which is really good for a young team. Obviously, you don't want isolation to be your bread and butter. For us, it's not. It's 70.7% of our plays are in isolation. We have a perfect 1.00 points per possession in isolation. We're number one in that is 1.10, which is Dallas, and obviously we know that's Luka. Now, isolation, it's not really, to me, it's not indicative of team success in any way, because it just means that you have a certain play style, and we know what our play style is. But we're currently in the 79th percentile for that, which is pretty good. And obviously we know the best isolation player on the team in high volume is Kevin Porter Jr. 1.10 points per possession in isolation, which puts him in the 77th percentile. And what these percentiles means is that whatever the number is, it means that's what percentage of the league that you're better than. So if he's in the 77th percentile, that means KPJ is better than 77% of the NBA in isolations, which to me, that's why I said in late games, I don't want him running plays. If I was a coach, I'll just tell him, bro, go get a bucket, right? A minute or less down, let's run the set to get him ISO, because that's the best thing we got going right now. Jalen is not a great isolation player, 0.79 for 29% in the 29th percentile, which is not great. Alp is in the 100th percentile for isolation, but only 12 possessions. I think he's like the league leader in points per possession in that category, but it's on really low volume, so really can't take too much from that. And Jabari is on 11 isolation plays at 1.18 points per possession, which is really surprising. I'm not gonna cap. I was surprised at that he's generating that many points in ISO. This dude is, he's scoring on a pretty good rate. The shooting splits aren't great, but I think he gets fouled, and he's also able to make some threes out of that. So good for him. Hopefully that number keeps climbing up for him. The pick and roll, as you guys know, I've been talking about the Rockets pick and roll frequency forever. So right now we're 4th in the league in pick and roll frequency. And when you look at, where we rank as far as points per possession, we are currently sitting at 27th in the league, 27th. So we are the 27th worst scoring team in the pick and rolls, but we run it the 4th most times in the NBA. So I need that to really go to start to trend down. That is definitely something I would give up more. That's why I said late in games, I don't need a KBJ pick and roll, bro. Just go score. Let's run 1-4 flat. Let him get to the basket, do what he got to do. If that's what's going to happen, because those pick and rolls are not doing much right now. On the team, the best pick and roll player is on high volume is Jalen Green, and between him and Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen has actually ran more pick and rolls than KPJ at 240. Jalen is 47th percentile, so better than right about half the league in it, which isn't terrible, which isn't great. It's good for a guy that needs Eric Gordon and Dacian Nix to handle the ball for him, though. I'll say that. So he's generating 0.85 points per possession in these actions. Like I said, not super. Kevin Porter Jr. is generating 0.74, which is in the 26th percentile. So only better about a 4th of the league. So they need to stop running so many pick and rolls with him. He is not good at it. Even though it's what we, everybody say, oh yeah, let's give him a lob threat in the pick and roll. He's not good at it. That's not his game. He's an ISO scorer. He's a catch and shoot player. He's a guy that you let kind of just pick his matchups and go. So I would rather them hunt mismatches with him and him generate from there than trying to run pick and rolls, because it is not working out for him at this moment. So coming off screens, this is basically when the players are able to get a screen set, come off and try to score off of those screens. We are 29th in frequency, so we do not run a lot of these plays. And to me, this is, these are the plays that I think for Jalen, we need to try to get him more actions in this. But we're 0.84 points per possession in these actions, which is 28th in the NBA. And if you guys know, I've compared Jalen to multiple players. I said he has some of the game of Steph, but he has the athleticism of like a Derrick Rose. And I still believe that. Maybe his shooting isn't up to par right now, but the overall game and archetype is that. Right now, coming off the screens, Jalen is points per possession is 1.09. He's actually tied with Garrison Mathews for those actions. And he is in the 70th percentile in the NBA as a player that's coming off the screens. And we see it. Out-piece screens for Jalen. He gets downhill into his mid-range bag and gets a clear open mid-range, makes it. Out-piece screens for Jalen. He gets into his right off the screen, gets to his three-point shot, and he's doing something with that. Garrison Mathews and him having the same points per possession off screens, to me, is all I need to know. I need more of that. Garrison Mathews gets 12% of his plays are coming off screens. Jalen's only 3%. So what I'm going to advocate for, or what I'm asking into the general ether, because I have no say so with the team, is that I hope that Jalen Green gets more opportunities to come off screens and play to those actions. Less isolations for him right now until he gets stronger. We can keep toying with the pick and rolls, but let's just try to play to some of his strengths as well. Jabari has only 10 possessions coming off the screens, and he's doing terribly in them. 0.6 possessions, and a lot of these actions were earlier in the season. Right now he's been scoring off a lot of catch and shoot and drives off of closeout, so I would love to see him get some new screen actions to see, because I liked what I saw in a couple of games ago where they ran plays for him to get him going. So all of this just tells me that, the team is pretty much, once again, there are a lot of things that we're doing that don't fit what we're trying to do. And I kind of want some of that to be cut out, right? For this next 25 games or 20 games or so, what you want to see is the team play to some of the players' strengths and, stop trying to force whatever the offensive philosophy is onto these players, and allow them to kind of, tailor make what they do well and what their skill sets are and what their archetypes are, and kind of see if you can help build a cohesive offense that maximizes everybody at the same time. I think for Kevin Porter Jr., more ISOs, more catch and shoot opportunities, less pick and roll. Jalen, more pick and roll, more DHOs, more coming off of screens. Jabari needs to get more isolations, maybe in the mid post. He needs to be able to explore his game. More catch and shoot opportunities for him as well. More transition threes for him. So they got to look for him as a trailer, as that 5 or 4 that when he's playing to trail for those threes. And for Sengun, he needs to do better in the post. He's doing good, but I just expect more from him there. He needs to pass more. The passing is definitely taking a dip in recent times. For Eric Gordon, he needs to find a way to a contender. Daishen Nix needs to learn how to finish, learn how to shoot, learn how to just, do a lot of stuff. Who else? Tari needs to be better in transition. I was surprised that his transition numbers aren't great. This is a guy that was in one of the highest percentiles in the NCAA in transition. I think he gets a bit tunnel vision, but he definitely needs to be able to fix that. KJ and the rest of the guys, I think they're doing really good for what they're doing, what they're called to do. Like I said, for the next 20 some games, they need to keep driving the ball, learn to kick out the ball when they drive, and this will help them out. So what did you think about this stat review? Do you think that there's anything that the team can improve on? Is this something that I missed? Is there anything that you've seen that the team can do better at? Or is there something that you're excited about that they're doing currently? Let me know in the comments. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, stop being lame. Stop being a loser. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like on this video, and keep rocking with the Chop Shop, and we keep dropping fire.